Good morning, everybody. Another day and another set of results from Sunday Creek. And as Sunday Creek has the ability to do, it surprised us on the upside yet again. We're reporting 4 holes, 3 drilled from the west to the east and 1 drilled from the east to the west in the upper parts of Apollo. To the side of the old workings and just below them, they mine just down to 100 meters in Apollo. And we've hit the best result so far in Apollo, just so very close to surface. So the headline result is 17.3 meters at 22.9 grams per ton gold equivalent. But that really undersells this press release because there are so many good results from each one of these drill holes. So as we remember, there's the sides of the ladder that host the gold, where the gold is hosted, and the veins themselves that are perpendicular to that host. So we've got the sides being the sides of the ladder and the rungs of the ladder being the veins. And so we drilled parallel to the sides of the ladder, but across at high angles to the veins in each one of these. And we drilled them from different angles. And there was just a gap here. We're stepping out 10s, 20, 30, 40 meters from other holes. So we're infilling, but that's not the key point either. We're finding new high-grade veins as we're drilling in these areas. So that's just not simply infill, that's discovery. So this deposit with these holes is getting larger as we find more in these areas where there's gaps, but also infilling and adding consistency at every moment. So there was the 4 holes, as I've said, in numerical order. We had hole 195 drilled from the west to the east. We hit 5 vein sets and a new high-grade core that we've been able to subdomain out of a vein set that we didn't have enough hits to identify that high-grade inner part of the vein, and now we've been able to do that. And there was 10.3 meters at 8.9 grams gold equivalent in that hole. Some good numbers of antimony, but the best of the antimony is yet to come. Another hole, 198, which was drilled from the east to the west, so in an opposing direction, hit 3 vein sets and was drilled in the shallower area. Some of the better results there included 2.6 meters at 10.1 grams gold equivalent, but we hit up to 179 grams gold in that very thin 10 centimeter interval there. So some very high grades. And then we drilled another west to east hole, 199, and that was matted with amazingly good results, 17.9 at 8.3 grams gold equivalent. It had a number of high-grade antimony hits through it and some very high individual assays above an ounce over half a meter, but importantly, up nearly 30% antimony in that interval, and another 26 centimeter interval that went 19 grams, but 21.4% antimony. Some amazing high grades of antimony that we're seeing in these upper parts of the system, which we're expecting. That's where the antimony, and the top 500 meters is where the antimony is very high grade. And then, of course, we get the very higher grades of gold as we go deeper and through that transition below 500 meters. So we're expecting to see the high-grade antimony in the upper parts, and these holes delivered without a doubt in spades. And then, as I said, those 3 holes are not the headline result. The headline result came from hole 200, which was drilled from the west to the east again. That had 17.3 meters at 22.9 grams gold equivalent, which was made up of 15.3 grams gold itself and 3.2% antimony. So 17.3 meters at 3.2% antimony, which is extremely high grade in the antimony world. There was some other good intersections there, and you'll see them flashing in front of you here in front of the screen. There was some amazingly high grade individual intersections there. There was 91 centimeters at 131 grams and 40 centimeters at 33 grams. That included 28 0.1% antimony. So again, that antimony result. So an amazing set of results in the upper part. We haven't drilled in the upper parts of Apollo for quite some time, as we've been extending all the systems to depth and making new discoveries east and west. But there was a gap here in Apollo that needed to be infilled, and as a consequence, we made more discoveries. Sunday Creek does not stop delivering the amazing set of results. We've now reported 247 drill holes for 114.8 kilometers of drilling. We have 46 holes pending results, 10 rigs actively drilling, and 8 of those are in the top 1 kilometer by 1.4 kilometers in the core area. We've got 1 hole going to depth, nearly down to 1,500 meters, 500 meters below the known mineralization. We've got 1 rig 8 kilometers away drilling that same ladder structure where the old timers mined along that whole trend over essentially 10 kilometers. So much more to come. In very well now into about a quarter of the way through our 200-kilometer drill program. Lots of surface work occurring. We're ready to go underground in the next few months as we're forming the dams and waste rock piles and our portal to go underground and explore underground with a kilometre-long decline. Plus so very much more. This is one of the world's better gold discoveries plus antimony, and we're on a real roll. So stay tuned for more results. Seeing we've hit such great antimony results, I thought it was an opportunity just to update you in the antimony space. So this project, Sunday Creek, is one of the world's most exciting gold projects. But as I have mentioned, it's an amazingly exciting antimony project, one of the better Western world discoveries, without a doubt, based on the drill hole results that we've got to date. And we believe that Sunday Creek can be a major contributor in the future to filling that supply gap that does not exist here in the Western world today. So the largest producer of antimony in the Western world is 60 kilometres from us. It's Costerfield, owned by Alkane Resources. So Victoria's got form. It's got a lot of antimony, and this is the next big one coming up here in Victoria. As we know, antimony, from an industrial point of view, 80% of the supply comes from China and Russia, add Tajikistan, and it's 90%. There's restrictions coming out of China to the Western world as the Chinese control that midstream, so they can choose what they want to do with that supply. Antimony is important for flame retardants. 20% goes into solar cells, and of course you don't have a munitions supply chain without antimony. It forms a core base of any primer, from a bullet to a rocket, for things that go bang. So it is a very important element. It plays a very important role in semiconductors and specialty materials like night vision goggles, etc. It's everywhere. You will never see it, but it's a critical metal, like many of the critical metals. And Sunday Creek has that real opportunity to be a major Western supplier into a new supply chain.